Hi, so I'm going to do the ocean biome for my project. And for this one, I'm going to do the Caribbean Sea. Alright, and then this is my diagram for the biome I'm doing. Okay, and then I'm going to do an example for 4 biotic and 4 abiotic elements. So the first one is between the fish and the amount of sodium in the sea. So let's say we take the fish out and then put it into like a different type of water with a different amount of sodium inside of it. The fish won't be used to it and then might die. Okay, and then another one is between the phytoplankton and CO2 and sunlight. So the phytoplankton needs CO2 and sunlight to kind of photosynthesize. Okay, then another interaction is between animals that live close to the shoreline or in little tide pools. They if the tide washes or is really low that day, then they might stay in the sand and then dry out kind of by the sun. And if they stay out to dry way too long, they eventually will die. Okay, and the last one we have is between the plants again and the rocks, the water, and the soil, as well as with sunlight. So basically, with all these factors put together, they actually give nutrients to the plants. Alright, and then lastly, I labeled all the animals if they're either omnivores, herbivores, or carnivores. Starting us off, we have the little fish, which are omnivores. And then we have the squid, which is also an omnivore, and then the shark, which is a carnivore, and then the lobster, which is an omnivore, and then I think that's the manatee, which is a herbivore. And then we have the little plankton, which is the herbivores. Alrighty, so moving on, we have the food web, and in this food web, we have the shark, some larger fish, smaller fish, a squid, smaller organisms, a lobster, an oyster, and plants/algae. Okay, and then we're going to start with the shark again. A shark is a carnivore as well as being a scavenger. And if we look here, a scavenger means an animal that eats a dead animal. And then some of the animals the shark eats are larger fish, squid, and smaller fish as well, and occasionally lobster. Okay, and then for larger fish, it's an omnivore and a secondary consumer. And secondary consumers are usually second to first on the food chain. And then these larger fish sometimes eat smaller fish and plants and algae. Okay, moving on to smaller fish, these are omnivores and primary consumers. And then primary consumers are second to the last of the food chain. And now squid. Squids are omnivores and are also secondary consumers. And squids eat small organisms, plants/algae, and then smaller fish. And then for smaller organisms, they are herbivores as well as being primary consumers, and they only eat plants and algae. And then for lobsters, they are carnivores and secondary consumers. They eat oyster because of their claws. They can break through the shell, and smaller organisms as well. And now we have oysters. Oysters are omnivores and primary consumers, and they eat plants and algae and also smaller organisms. And then plants and algae. Plants and algae are autotrophs. Being an autotroph means that you can make organic molecules out of non-organic ones by making their own food. And plants and algae don't really eat anything, so that's it for the food web. Okay, so now I'm going to name 3 habitats inside my ecosystem. So the first one is rocks, big crevices inside rocks. These can actually be homes for small organisms and other small animals, sea animals. Okay, and then we have the sea anemone, which can be homes for clownfish. And lastly, we have little tide pools on the shore, which can be homes for small sea creatures. Anywho, that was informational. Now this is for fun. Okay. Wow, Fernando, look, there's an ocean museum open. You want to go check it out? Yeah, okay. Let's just go to the wall and then we can fly all the way up here. Okay, let's just unequip you and then I'm just going to walk through the wall real quick. That's pretty normal. Oh, look at over here. There's little fishies. I'm pretty sure these are omnivores, meaning they both eat plants and animals. And then these are sea anemones. I'm pretty sure that's how I say it. And then this is a very bulbous shark, they are carnivores, meaning they only eat meat or like carcasses. And then that's a rock. This is a squid. They're also omnivores, meaning they both eat plants and animals. And then this is an algae, like it's just floating there. Okay, and then yeah, that's a sun, or like over there. Yeah, or I'm showing this sea anemone again. And what else? So yeah, that's the sun. Okay, and then down there, that's a little bowl, like a little tide pool in the ocean. And then let's pretend those are sea creatures and not squirrels. Anyways, moving on, this is a sand hill because that's kind of cool. And yeah, so this was like my diagram because I felt the need to add one. It was made in Adopt Me, by the way, so I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, let's just walk back through the wall and then jump off the house. Bye!